Hello, welcome. I am really loving this fellowship that we're having in Think About It. It's just been not only fun for me, it's been very educational, and I pray that you're getting something out of this as well as myself. Today, our key word is sovereignty. Sovereignty. So we want to make sure that we understand what that means. And I'm going to keep it as simple as I possibly can. Sovereignty is simply supreme power. So when we talk about God's sovereignty, we're talking about God's supreme power to do as he chooses. That cannot be contested. God is sovereign. Even people who have a limited belief in God believes that he's sovereign, believe that he makes the calls. The beauty that we miss is that, isn't it wonderful that the one who is totally sovereign is also the one who's the epitome of love. Imagine if the one who was totally sovereign, which no one can do anything about, was a person that was evil and vindictive. So we're not questioning God's sovereignty. The beauty is the wonderful fact that he's a loving God. So here's what I want us to get. We're going to look at Romans. We're going to look at Romans 8:28. And we know that for those who love God, all things work together for good for those who are called according to his purpose. Okay? Romans 8:28. It speaks to God's sovereignty. And so many times, our circumstances do not reflect the fact that God is in control. We know that God is love. Therefore, when our circumstances appear to be punitive, when we view them as punitive, when we view them as God punishing us, it's very difficult to establish or to at least maintain the idea that God is in control, because everything is going haywire. Even in our worst times, God is in control. Now, what we have to understand is that it is so important to us to have control. In Genesis 2, God told Adam and Eve, and specifically to Adam, don't eat of that particular tree. But because of Adam's desire to have control, because of Adam's desire for autonomy and independence, he found himself susceptible to Eve's temptation to eat. But it was Adam's desire within him to be autonomous from God, to be independent from God. And so when Satan said, oh, he doesn't want you to eat because he knows then you'll be like him. You'll be like him as a God, and you can make your own decisions. Can you visualize in your mind how appealing that must have been to Adam? Because it's still appealing to us now. We want to live independently of God until we get in trouble. We want to live independently of God until we need deliverance. We want to be independent of God until we need to be rescued. But the truth of the matter is, we're not sovereign. We're not in total control of everything, but God is. My question to you is, can you trust him enough to relinquish your desire to be in total control? God, through his permissive will, allows us minimal control in our lives, but ultimately the decisions that make the most difference are up to him. Can you trust him enough to handle it? I don't know. but at least think about it.